So I noticed that there's a Zion Williamson, nice little 2K box. I have the same one in the background. He seems pretty muscular and slim in that photo. What are your thoughts on Zion now compared to Zion in that picture? Or just in life?
What are my thoughts about Zion in life?
Or just like, you know, like how he's doing food-wise.
Food-wise. You know, we saw that he fractured his foot, which I honestly feel like people are just sweeping under the rug. Like, that's not a normal injury, you know, considering what he's doing. It's different if he's like playing football or something, but to my understanding, he fractured his foot training and he said he was going too hard. And like, nobody cares. We're just like sweeping this under the rug. Like, you know, just absolutely nothing happened. So to be honest, I'm a little worried, and I know you guys have heard about the rumors and, you know, the fact that he's been quote unquote partying and all that. I don't care about that. Dude's 21, but what I do care about is he in shape? Is he going to be good to start the season?
It's really funny. It's like he fractured his foot and everyone's like poking him with a stick. He's like, be transcendent already. You know, be the next LeBron already. We're waiting. Come on. Like, but what did you think about the, did you read the article?
Yeah. Come on, man. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about that David Griffin piano.
I love how it's officially the David Griffin piano article. That's what it's referred to as. Yeah.
So David and Zion refuted what was said in that article, and I'm glad they did, because regardless of what did or didn't happen, at the end of the day, you want to put out any media fire before it really gets started, even if you have some bad feelings. Now, in that Zion Williamson interview where he refuted, you know, the David Griffin article,
much has been made of your relationship with Griff and with the organization. Do you want to maybe take a minute just to kind of clarify where you all are and where you stand and how you feel?
That might be the best question of the day. I'm glad you asked that. I feel like nobody's ever asked me that, so I'm glad you asked. I love it here. I love the city of New Orleans. My relationship with Griff, I don't think he can play the piano, last time I checked. But yeah, it's all love with me and Griff.
His body language, like, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. I didn't major in psychology, but his body language just seemed a little weird to me. It wasn't like the typical happy-go-lucky Zion. It's like, oh man, I'm tired of this. You know what I'm saying?
I want to get more into this foot thing. I think you're completely right. When all of this kind of came up and it was like, oh, Zion's foot is, you know, it's healing. We expect him to be back in the for the regular season. I was like, wait, Zion's hurt? I feel like a fractured foot because you were overdoing it during training, in his own words, because you have a chip on your shoulder, which I get. I mean, Zion, of course, I'm assuming wants to be the best player in the NBA, wants to go to the playoffs, wants to do all these things.
We hope.
Yeah.
We would hope.
I'm just assuming. That's an assumption.
Yeah. That's a fair assumption.
But to me, that is very scary when you combine. Now, I'm not going to go out and just be like, all right, Zion gained this amount of weight. But it does look like, you know, he didn't come into that press conference looking slim.
He doesn't look
or
slim.
slimmer,
Yeah.
you know, which I would think, personally, with a foot injury, you would really want to slim down possibly. You don't want to add weight because, you know, when you're a big man like that, jumping up, your explosiveness, when you come down, you're landing on, you know, that weight. I would think maybe slim down a bit. He seems to have done the opposite. That is a very scary injury. Now, of course, with current medical, you know, science, modern medicine, you know, players have healed from those injuries at a higher rate. If this were to happen 15 years ago, it could be a massive, massive story. But it's definitely something to, you know, just to keep checking in on. And if I was a Pelicans fan, that would horrify me, knowing that my 6'7" power forward, who's known for leaping out of the building, and that's how he scores. I mean, like, that's not exactly how he scores, but that's what he's known for. And he does have, you know, the highlight plays. For him to get injured during practice, that's a little scary. Like, was he throwing down monster dunks and everything? I saw Jaylen Brown recently. He was in a scrimmage with Ben Simmons. They were doing 3v3, and that man was not moving. He was, you know, playing at 10-20% pace because he doesn't want to get injured so close to the season. I'm not really sure what happened to Zion, but also it's kind of weird, don't you think, that that more info wasn't leaked about why he got hurt? Just that he was going really hard with a chip on his shoulder? It's a little weird to me.
I mean, like, if there's one thing that I've noticed from the NOLA piano article that I actually agree with is...
Also, guys, while you're here, this podcast, Laced Up, is also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It would be awesome if you could go check us out there, follow us there, and leave us a review.
Yeah, so, guys, we are capping off the giveaway to the first 40,000 subscribers that turn on our notifications for the Laced Up podcast. All you have to do to enter for a chance to win a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X is subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you want to do us a favor, leave a like on the pod and let me know in the comment section down below when it's done. You'll enter for a chance to win a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X. The fact that Zion and the Pelicans have always been very cryptic about Zion's injuries, why Zion isn't playing. Like, if you remember going back to the bubble, Zion left the bubble for supposed personal issues. But apparently, according to the piano article, which I don't know if we're going to take seriously or not, because you could make an argument to take it seriously because Griff and Zion are probably going to come out and deny it, or not take it seriously because they did deny it. But historically, the Pelicans have always been very secretive about Zion, why he's injured, why he isn't playing. So why do you think the reason for that would be?
So my major concern with the New Orleans Pelicans right now is obviously Zion's health. But beyond that, it's, does Zion trust the Pelicans? Because apparently Zion's whole frustration with the Pelicans started when, you know, he returned to the bubble out of shape when he returned to play, and he was out of shape. And the Pelicans were trying to limit him, make sure, you know, before they let him go, he was ready. Before they let him go, like, he was fully in shape. You know, it's a really delicate situation because a lot of times, you know, I don't want to say you have to protect players from themselves, but in situations like this, you do need to protect players from themselves. But you're also risking that player becoming frustrated and maybe starting to resent the organization. And you know, the New Orleans Pelicans are not a star destination. So it's like, okay, do we keep Zion healthy or do we risk his health and keep him happy?
Yeah, I mean, it happened with Michael Jordan, most famously, I would say. For anyone who's watched The Last Dance, which I know most people have, or a lot of people have, I know a lot of people knew this story before, but, you know, Michael Jordan was out, broken foot, right? Broken foot? Correct? Am I correct? Michael Jordan missed almost his entire second season with an injury and came back on a minutes restriction. He was only playing about, I think he was allowed 10 minutes a game or 12 minutes a game or something like that when he first came back. But the Bulls straight up told him, like, you 100% should not come back. They won like 35 games that year. They tried to get him not to play, and he was like, no, absolutely not. Like, what, are you tanking? What are you trying to, that's why you're trying to hold me off the court? And yes, this happened in the 1986 season. If you look, it's like a huge outlier in Mike's career because he only averaged 22.7 points a game, but that's because he only averaged 25 minutes a game. This was actually, I think during this season, he scored 8 points against, I'm looking right now, against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think that was the only time as a Chicago Bull he ever scored in single digits. And that was because he was held on a minutes restriction that year. He had 8 points in 16 minutes. So yeah, but there's an alternate universe out there where Michael Jordan re-injures himself in his second season. And that sets up a trajectory that is not GOAT apex status. The team was trying to save him from him, and I mean, it worked out for Mike, but yeah, I mean, I think if that happens maybe more in modern times, maybe you're right, it's hard because you have they had a Michael Jordan type talent, you have a Zion type talent. When these guys are saying like, okay, yeah, we want to play, like, why are you holding me out? I'm perfectly healthy, the trainer or whatever, you get a medical clearance, and they are competitive guys. It's hard to hold them off the court, but they could end up hurting themselves horribly. And yeah, if I was Zion, if I'm Clay, if I'm any of these guys coming back from injuries, why does Zion have to come back for the beginning of the regular season? Like, obviously, for our own entertainment standpoint, I'd love to see Zion back. I want to see him playing right away. But if you're dealing with a foot injury, like, take your time, be 100% with like 5 different doctors, get cleared by everyone, because that is scary.
I mean, in the Pelicans case, according to this NOLA.com article, all you really have to do is get David Griffin to call Zion into his office and maybe play like just the two of us. Just imagine like being Zion. All right, first of all, let me give you guys the background of his story. Like, for the viewers that didn't read the NOLA article, pretty much the entire like 10-minute read summarized in like 30 seconds is Zion Williamson during his rookie year started to resent the New Orleans Pelicans because they were really babying him and putting him on minutes restrictions during his injury. He wanted to return sooner than he could. The Pelicans were a little afraid to allow him to come back so soon. And as a result, there was some sort of resentment between him and David Griffin. And according to this article, David Griffin tried really hard in Zion's rookie year to forge a bond. One example is during the Pelicans' bubble stay, David Griffin asked to meet with Zion Williamson and played the piano for him. Which I'm just trying to imagine like Zion going into David Griffin's office saying, "Yo, Griff, when can I play?" And you see like David Griffin like on the piano saying, "I see the crystal raindrops fall and the beauty of it all," and then like Zion just walking out. Like, we gotta do
karaoke in Cali for Rolling Loud. We gotta do karaoke. I didn't know you had those vocals.
I mean, it just. First of all, I don't know if this is real or not. Because, like, first of all, how could it be real? Like, was there another person in the room saying, "Oh shit, wait
That's
until
so
the new
awkward.
wait until the outlets hear this, bro." Like,
imagine just like you just play. I can imagine just like playing piano for one person is a pretty like intimate thing. It feels like you're just playing music for another guy. You're sitting there. You know what I think would be way funnier of a scenario? Like if David Griffin, if he was actually like a gigantic beginner at piano and him and Zion were taking the journey together, like he was playing him hot cross buns and was like just looking for Zion's approval.
Do you think David Griffin attempted to do this with Kyrie Irving when Kyrie Irving demanded his trade? He's like, "Yo, Kyrie, come here." And then like LeBron and David Griffin were in the office and they were like playing the piano. There might have been like a pinkish hue, trying to set the mood. Like
that got him out of there.
That probably did not work on Kyrie Irving. But
so not to get lost in the Pelicans talk, I'm actually really excited about the team. Love Trey Murphy, Nikhil, Brandon Ingram. Speaking of Nikhil and Brandon Ingram, these guys have been hosting practices. They've been meeting up with Coach Willie Green. They've been holding it down, and Trey Murphy's been embracing New Orleans. First round draft pick from this season. I'm really excited, man, and I hope that in all of this Zion mess, that the love for Brandon Ingram and Nikhil and all of these guys stepping up, doesn't get lost, because I'm loving what I'm seeing from a leadership standpoint, especially from BI. Who I feel like has become like a forgotten about piece of that of the Anthony Davis trade, which is even crazy to say, or at least a forgotten about piece in New Orleans, because it just feels like everybody's always talking about Zion.
So can we get the Get Like Coop official prediction for the Pelican season? Where do you guys think you finish this year?
6 seed, easy.
6 seed.
6 seed.
6
Wow.
seed, easy.
Easy. And I go 5
Easy.
seed and I get laughed out the freaking
We're
window.
better than the Bulls. We're definitely better than the
we
Bulls.
got you like game 3.
We have a better top to bottom roster than the Chicago Bulls.
Lonzo's about to drop 40 on your fucking head.
Your season is banking on how good Lonzo is. Been there.
What? That's not
done
true.
That is true. Y'all are expecting him to be a difference
How
maker.
is that? That's not true. That our season's
You're
based on so many
expecting-
things. We have multiple things. Just like any team, we have multiple things. It's like, all right, can Lonzo fit well with Zach? Can Lonzo take another step up in his development? Can Zach perhaps take a leap into top 15, top 10 player in the NBA? Can Patrick Williams continue his development into a potential defensive stopper at the wing / power forward position? How well does DeMar DeRozan fit into the offense? Are we able to cover up his liability on defense? Is Vucevic? How does the pick and pop duo work with Zach and with Lonzo? There's a lot. How does Kobe White? How does he adjust to life off the bench? Is he able to step up and earn his money for his next contract because he's still a player that has potential? How about Alex Caruso? What does he provide off the bench for the Bulls? Is he able to provide leadership for Lonzo and give us that defensive spark? There's a lot.
So you think? So I'm gonna.
No. You gotta let me reply to that.
Yeah. Go for it.
Not being super literal, I didn't think you would dive into the 50 million things that the Bulls
There's
needed
a
to
lot
go right.
going on.
But you didn't answer my question. I think you got lost in the dialogue or the monologue. So with Lonzo Ball, you think the Bulls will be a playoff team if Lonzo Ball is bad?
If he's bad, well, I don't expect him to be bad. That'd be like the same thing. Well, that'd be the same thing as me going, if Brandon Ingram is bad.
Well, you could say our season's banking on how good Brandon Ingram is, and I'd be like, well, you might be right.
Well, I would say if he's the same or better, then yeah, we're good. If he's bad, then of course.
So if he's bad, then you're not a playoff team.
So that'll depend on still some stuff because at that point then we would have to, of course, the Bulls. I hate when people rip into people for saying we when they're talking about their own team, but I know people do that. But anyway, we, the Bulls, I'm a member, we have Kobe White and Alex Caruso still at the point guard spot. So, I mean, if Lonzo is not as good as expected, then yes, we would have some other options. However, I think we'll be just fine with Lonzo. And I think, you know what? I don't want to take shots. However, I think Lonzo Ball, maybe, there's some saltiness coming your way because he chose the beautiful city of Chicago over New Orleans, and now you want him to fail.
You mean the Pelicans let him go? Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
Because regardless of what he wanted, he didn't really have a choice.
Yeah.
He signed with the Bulls.
Yeah, he was a restricted free agent.
Yeah, that's signed with the Bulls. What are you talking about?
And the
Pelicans the Pelicans could have easily matched the offer. Every restricted free agent does not have a choice. It's in the
they have a choice where they could sign.
Yeah,
and then the team gets
but
decided.
He doesn't. So the ball was in the court of the Pelicans. It wasn't in the court of Lonzo Ball at all.
Yeah, the Pelicans pretty much said that.
Okay, well,
we don't think he's worth that much.
If it's your front office making the decision whether or not they should keep Lonzo and he ends up on the Bulls, I'm very happy with what's happening.
I mean, yeah, I could understand your enthusiasm given that this might be the most competitive your team has been in almost a decade, and you might get a 6 or 7 seed. So I'm very happy for you.
We're going number 5. We will not be in that play-in game. It will not be happening.
Yo, you're talking crazy, bro. You're talking crazy.
What is that crazy? That's literally... That's
yo. I just got to see how they look. I'm not a Bulls homer. I just got to see what the product on the court looks like.
That's clearly not crazy though. Number 5 seed.
So that'd be your highest finish in like 10 years.
Okay, but since Derrick Rose, yeah.
So that's pretty crazy. That's a crazy.
But that's not crazy. We're a completely new team.
Yo, lace heads, if you're at this point in the pod, please go to the comment section down below.
I agree with lace heads.
It's either lace heads or lacers, so I went with lace heads. If you're
guys, what about Coopers?
All right, guys, if you got to this point in the pod, and please let us know in the comment section down below where you think the Pelicans are going to finish and where you think the Bulls are going to finish. Personally, dude, Coop, addressing your side of the argument, ahead of the Pelicans, I got the Lakers, the Clippers, the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Mavericks, maybe, and the Suns. And I forgot Kawhi's injured, and the Suns and the Jazz in no particular order.
One. One.
Here, I'll go in order. Okay, Mavericks, Nuggets, Warriors, Clippers,
I've got at
Lakers,
least 7, if
Suns.
not more.
I mean, unless if there's a huge leap, which again, I do think the Pelicans have the ceiling to make a huge leap.
If Zion's healthy, what's the Pelicans' weakness? Serious question. What are they bad at?
Devontae Graham shoots under 40%. We don't know how their spacing is.
The spacing is going to be good. Devontae Graham, Brandon Ingram, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Trey Murphy. They got shooters now, bro. They got shooters around to put around Zion Williamson, and even Val can step out and knock down the three. Who he is a massive upgrade over Steven Adams. You could look at the stats. Not on high volume, but he can step out and knock down the three. If you do the stats, you know that.
Very low frequency shooter.
But he can do it.
So
and that could be because of the Memphis Grizzlies play style.
what do you think of the Pelicans 4-point line in their practice facility, by the way?
Oh, we coming different. That tells you we're gonna have some elite spacing, bro.
Well, apparently a few other teams have this, but I do like this concept.
Yeah, they do for sure.
I do like the concept there.
I don't know if I like the concept, to be honest with you.
I think it's because I'm assuming they're not like, shooting 4-point shots. I think it's more, I would think it'd be practicing against the guys that go and shoot out from out there, the Stephs and the Dames. So that's what I'm assuming.
There's only so many people that do that. There's like 3 players that do that.
Yeah, you're right. It could lead to some bad habits.
It could lead to some very bad habits, bro.
Just, they see that line and they're just shooting from,
their
brain just shoots from a line.
Devontae Graham said today, I got a few 4s up, and I was like, oh man. No. Like, yo, you're playing with Zion. You're not going to have to take 4s. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, but if he could, imagine that. So imagine like Zion in that Draymond role. Where
that's true. That's true.
If you have to guard Graham out there, and then boom, Zion slips up to the top,
and that's one of the reasons I like the fit of Graham and Zion so much. He's a diverse pick and roll ball handler, or 3-point creator from pick and roll ball handler. And Zion's never had that in his career. Zoe can shoot, but he doesn't have the gravity that a guy like Graham has. So
I also think that like, there's not going to be, I don't think there was a power struggle with Lonzo there, but like in my head, in an NBA fan's head, you think Lonzo Ball, primary ball handler. But last year with Stan Van Gundy coming in, Lonzo was more of a like spot up shooter.
And I think that was, I don't know. I'm like torn. I think that was needed for his development, and I think it was good that he showed he could do that. But obviously, you didn't want to take the ball out of the hands of Zion and BI. Yeah. So, but I'm happy he's on the Bulls now, because I really do want to see what he can do if the Bulls really do choose to fully unleash or, let Zoe play his game. At the end of the day, I'm a Zoe fan. So, I'm still rooting for him. I'm
not on the ship of, if he ever became an all-star, amazing, but I'm not on that ship. I'm more of like, I think he's a really great fit for the roster. As the years go on, yeah, maybe like based on his progression, there's a ton of good guards though, in the NBA is so guard heavy. There's more, incredible guards coming in like Kate Cunningham, Jalen Green, Suggs, ton of great guys. So it's going to be hard to crack the all-star team for anyone, but I just like the fit of Lonzo personally. Really
quick, before we talk about LiAngelo Ball, I just wanted to let you guys know that we're giving away a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X to a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel. When we get to 40,000 subs, that's 3,000 subscribers away. If you've already done it, you don't need to do it again. Huge shout out to you guys for supporting the pod. Did you guys hear what happened with LiAngelo Ball not even getting invited to a training camp this year? Last year he got invited to the Pistons. He crushed the Charlotte Hornets summer league circuit, supposedly.
Crushed.
Crushed. That's what people are saying. He crushed it. Like,
are you saying that, or are people saying that?
Nah. He had like.
Wait, I think we all liked how he played, but I said, I'm not gonna go back. I think it's crazy that they're not at least giving him a shot when his brother is the face of the franchise on top of everything. I'm just saying, on top of everything. Seems kind of crazy not to put him on your 20 man. Like, you're going to really tell me that 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, those guys, who is on their 20 man roster? I'm actually very curious now.
To be fair, I love Jello, but there might be players with more upside than Jello. But I do agree, it's kind of wild to not put him on that roster. Especially like you said, he's the face of the franchise. I remember the Pelicans. We had Boogie Cousins' little brother, playing for our summer league and coming through, and I was like, yo, like, yeah, and you see it somewhat often in the NBA. So yeah, I thought it was a little bit of a surprise too to not see Jello make the 20-man roster.
I always said, like, when you look at, I think the best example of this situation is the Antetokounmpo brothers, right? When you look at Thanasis Antetokounmpo, like, he has a pretty versatile skill set. He could finish at the basket. He's a great defender. Yeah, he's not going to get...
He's actually pretty solid. I actually like him.
Yeah, so like Jello, my number one issue with him was always he could shoot, and that's it. Like, there needs to be more than you could shoot. If you could shoot and play like remarkable lockdown defense, then great. If he could like shoot and has like a somewhat consistent a very consistent finishing ability, then great. But a lot of players in the NBA already could just do one thing. Like, that's like the bare minimum. He needs to do, like, I think 2 or 3 things really well to at least make it to that next step.
I enjoyed it a lot. It was fun, worth the price of admission type stuff. He just looks so undersized to me, and like, you're right. So he can shoot, but what else can you do? And I mean, like, I didn't think he was that tall. I thought he was like maybe 6'5", maybe 6'6". But to me, in the summer league, he looked like a short arm 6'4", unfortunately. And
I would say 6'4" for sure.
He's six. I mean, you could get away with 6'4" at his position if you could do multiple things. I mean, I guess he's technically a small forward / guard, but like, also, it's just his build is a little awkward as well. Like, he came in remarkable shape. I'd want to say he was like around the 210 pound range. But still, even then, like, very awkward weight distribution, and to be at that weight and not have a good finishing ability or not be a tremendous defender is probably what's holding him back. But I'm always going to root for the guy. He's just 22 years old. He's going to turn 23 a day after me, actually, November 24th. And I don't think he has to give up on his dream yet. But for now, I think what he needs to work on is an additional skill to his repertoire in order to in order to take the next step, or maybe just, if he wants to punt on his dream, maybe try to get into coaching.
I don't think he's going to be a coach, but I will say,
I don't think he's going to be a coach either. But I like the idea.
I think he has a great basketball IQ.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be a coach, especially this young. But I will say the Hornets they're just a really bad team, honestly, to, like, it's just an unfortunate situation, I would say. I mean, for him, not a really bad team. I'm saying they have a lot of guards. They're guard heavy and wing heavy, like, getting time at that shooting guard small forward spot. I think maybe that's another, just another reason why they just let him go, because there is no way he was cracking that rotation, if we're being honest. I never, ever really thought he was ever going to crack the rotation this year. I just think that, I do believe that what we saw in Summer League was definitely encouraging and was something that I didn't expect. And I still don't see why you wouldn't really keep him on as like a 14th, 15th man. But at the same time, I guess when doing a little bit, like, I really don't want to go back on this, because I've, made LiAngelo stances, and like, I do think that, 14th, 15th man. But if you look at the Hornets roster, they do have, on this 20-man roster, I pulled it up, I found it. They've got a lot of young guys. Like, they have guys like JT Thor, they've got, Scotty Lewis, Kai Jones, DJ Carton, who I didn't even know who that was, but he's played at Marquette last year. He's like 20. Vernon Carey Jr., and then James Bouknight. They have a lot of young guys already that are trying out for a spot. So it looks like this just might not be the team for him. It might be, honestly, like a situation with like Giannis, where the Bucks have more of an established team and there's more of a, okay, you could be the 15th man, where the Hornets might be casting a wide net of young players and hoping that at least one of them develops into like a role player or better. And they're just getting a bunch of these, like, guys, because their 20-man roster doesn't seem too crazy. Maybe like who is Xavier Sneed? Like maybe a guy like that you put Jello over. Never even heard of him. He averaged 14 a game as a senior at Kansas State.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a slap in the face, though. I will say it seems like a little bit. I don't know.
I think it was very predictable, honestly. Like I saw this coming from the very beginning. I didn't.
You saw him not making the 20-man roster. I could see the roster.
Oh no. The roster, yes. The 20-man. I thought like he got invited to the Pistons.
Slap in the face. That seems kind of crazy. Yeah.
To be fair, though, even getting the summer league invite was pretty dope of the Hornets to do.
Yeah.
I mean, he played. He was good.
But still, like, how many teams were giving him a summer league invite with him being out of action for that long? That was pretty dope of the Hornets to do.
Yeah, that's true. They put him back on the radar.
Yeah, and I think it was just very good for like his hype as a player, to be honest. Like playing in the summer league.
Yeah, it was for sure.
Yeah, and I don't think his story's over. I really don't. I still think he could turn it around. He's still very young.
He's got like one of those my career storylines going on right now.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Like straight up. So I wanted to dive into something that's obligatory on the Laced Up podcast, which is the Ben Simmons drama. You know, like we can't do an episode here. I'm actually like ridiculed on my channel for how often I upload something on Ben Simmons because every day there's something new. Have you guys been tapped into that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't think him and Joel Embiid fit together on the court. And did I see something about he thinks that he could unlock his potential as a player more without Embiid? By the way, I would like to say that, you know, the Ben Simmons summer runs that I've been watching this summer have been extra spicy. Been loving them.
I love them, bro. He does, bro. Like I think
he's like taking 1 foot step back threes and just saying bucket. And I'm
ain't no way those are done in one take. There's no way they're done in one take.
Watch, this
guy's a hater.
On YouTube, you could watch.
This guy's a hater.
I don't know how edited they are, but if you watch on YouTube, I was watching Ben, Jaylen Brown. That was the game I was referring to with Jaylen. Just not really. He was just not caring. He wasn't really playing that hard. But it was those two, John Wall. And someone, freaking Joe Johnson. Those were the four. They were playing 3v3, and also, what's his name? I can't remember. He played at Stanford. He's a young guard. He's a young forward guard. I don't know. Whatever. All I know is they were showing misses. Like they would show, like Ben would brick a shot. What I will 100% say, without a doubt, is Ben Simmons is not coming back shooting threes, no matter what this footage is showing, because I watched that footage, the unedited footage. The amount of times that Ben Simmons in a 3v3 basketball game, this is 3v3 with no stakes, had a wide open three and just dribbled and then pretended like he was going to shoot and then passed it to John Wall, who then had no problem pulling from 35 feet away. John Wall is shooting nonstop step back threes in Jaylen Brown's face. No problem. Ben Simmons was not about shooting. He looked good driving to the basket. He always has. The problem is in 3v3 basketball, if you get fouled, you don't go to the free throw line. So I don't know where his head's at there. He looked great going to the basket, I will say. He made some great passes, but he looked very hesitant shooting threes. Very hesitant.
I mean, go ahead, Coop. Do you have something to say on this?
Yeah. I don't care what you watched. I'm buying the stock this season.
No, come
I'm not saying,
I'm buying the stock.
Before you go into this, please, before you go into this, I want to say I'm not selling the stock. I'm saying if you're my whole point
we understand that. You're talking about jump shots. You're talking about jump shots. You're talking about jump shots. I know.
I like Ben as a player for sure.
I'm buying the stock. You know, this whole situation with the Philadelphia 76ers has gotten so messy, and Ben just strikes me as the type of guy, especially the way this situation has unraveled, that can take Petty to another level. If you think he's not going to try to stick it to the 76ers every way possible once he's gone, you're tripping. I think he's going to come back, and I don't know how many he's going to take, but I think threes are definitely going to be on the radar for Ben Simmons. I think he wants to prove not only Philadelphia, the 76ers wrong, but I think he wants to prove the entire fan base wrong at this point, because he's never been under this national spotlight like this. He's never he's never been this ridiculed. And I don't know, man. I think there's some power behind that.
I mean, it's the chip on the shoulder factor for sure. Now, what everyone is calling to question is, his mental makeup. Like, is he going to be that guy? If it seems like when I watch him play in practice, dude, he is. I will 100% give it to you and give it to Ben for sure. He's playing with like a fire. He's playing aggressively. In that same thing that I was just talking about, him, being hesitant with threes. When he did get the ball, he's backing guys in. He's taking to the basket. I mean, yet again, this is 3v3 basketball, but you do have NBA caliber players on the court, and he was looking good. I don't know. I'm very interested personally. If I had to bet right now on is Ben gonna shut the Sixers fans up in his return to Philly, assuming he's traded, or is he going to struggle? I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I don't know. I don't think he's going to start launching threes, because personally, the first
I don't know
time
about
he
launching,
airballs,
but
if he takes one,
some.
that one shot is risky for Ben Simmons, because that air ball will collapse the roof if it does. If it goes in, stone silence, and he looks like a megastar. He looks amazing, of course. But if a miss even probably collapses the roof with booze.
I think what's frustrating about him is just looking at his practice footage, and I wanted to get to like the update, because in the last 48 hours, like, it's getting more and more personal. Like, I've been really tapped into this, and the last 48 hours it's gotten really crazy, but I can't see and I guess you guys could like hate on me for this, but there's no way this guy shoots underneath 29% if he just starts like shooting like maybe 3 threes per game. There's no way. I think that like he can at least. There's no way he shoots I think he'll hit at least 28 to 29% of his threes. I personally think.
I've watched him. I've watched the practice footage, like unedited. He doesn't make he's kind of struggles as a shooter to begin with. Nothing. His free throw numbers don't suggest that. His shooting splits, I'm pulling up right now. His shooting splits last year from any shot distance, he shot 42% from 3 to 10 feet and 38% from 10 to 16 feet. And he just doesn't shoot. I don't know. I mean, how many attempts a game are we talking about?
I said like maybe 3 attempts per game, maybe.
Okay. I don't know. Sorry. Go on. That got me passionate for some reason. I think he wouldn't shoot that well, but I don't know.
No, I'm glad. And no, it's just like a prediction, which, by the way, I really, really want to figure out how much this man is about to get fined as well, because this guy could apparently get fined something like, let me see, $2,500 for the first missed practice, $5,000 for the second, $7,500 for the next. And the Sixers could also suspend Simmons once preseason games begin on October 4th, which would cost him $227,613 for each preseason. Well, I guess each game missed, because it doesn't say preseason game. So with that being said, how many games do you guys think Ben Simmons is going to miss? Let's calculate how much money this guy is going to potentially lose. Like, let's say he misses each and every game until the trade deadline, right?
You calculate that. We'll talk about. How about while you calculate that, we take a question from Twitter.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. So, I'm down with that.
I like this one from JacePA_27. Who's your dark horse MVP candidate, Coop?
Ooh, let me look at the standings so I can look at some teams. Ooh, does Luka count as a dark horse?
No.
That doesn't. He doesn't.
Here,
so we're talking really dark. We're talking really dark.
We're talking. I'm gonna say out of the top 7. I'm gonna pull up the MVP odds. Don't look at them though. It'll be more impressive if you pull like number 8. MVP odds, MVP 2022.
Talking pretty dark here.
Yeah, I mean, dark horse. You can't be top 5.
But Luka, how many people have? What are his odds for MVP?
Yeah, Luka's number 1 right now.
Whoa!
By the way.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it goes Luka, Embiid, Durant, Giannis, Steph, Dame, Jokic.
So I can't say any of those guys. Anybody else is fair game.
And LeBron is actually tied with Jokic, so anyone else is fair game. Ooh,
Maybe.
I know mine. How is Kawhi Leonard
He's
a
hurt.
2.5% chance?
He's hurt.
Yeah, how does he even have that high of a chance?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's just, you're throwing money into the wind on that one.
Man, this is actually a pretty tough one. I want to say a guy like Jason Tatum, but maybe like Devin Booker.
Okay, that would be quite a come up because you'd be going from an injury replacement all-star to an MVP. So not to discount him, I think the Suns could for 100%. I mean, the Suns and the Jazz. I mean, you look at a guy like Donovan Mitchell too in that conversation. They could run away with the 1 seed potentially, especially with the injuries to teams like Clippers, Warriors, and Nuggets. Potentially, the Clippers and the Nuggets would be right up there. I would say definitely. I'd probably put both those in my top 3, top 4. Both of them are dealing with some major injuries. With that in mind, I feel like a good dark horse, and Mike's going to love this, is Anthony Davis at the center spot. If the Lakers kill it with AD at center, playing a defensive player of the year type season, I mean, we saw today, I think it was today, LeBron was like, he wants AD playing angry, all that. I mean, I
don't know, man. You're talking about MVP
I'm talking about dark horses.
Dark horse.
Here,
I get it.
I'm trying to like dig deep into I'm trying to figure out.
Do you think it's even possible though? With Westbrook and Bron, the narratives would just be so crazy that I feel like people are going to try to give it to Bron or Westbrook.
You might be right
anyway.
because out of that, AD, they're probably not going to give it to him. You're right, actually. Okay, so I'm going to change my answer. You're right. You talked me out of this. Okay, so dark horses.
Tough.
Okay, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, number 10, Trae Young. That could be interesting. If the Hawks have if the Hawks exceed expectations from even last year, if they finish
that would be
top
crazy.
2, top 3.
That would be crazy.
And Trae averages 28 and 10, 30 and 10. He's capable of doing. Could easily be right there, I think.
I like Damian Lillard personally.
That's a good one.
He's one,
he's on the list though, right?
5. Yeah, he's number 6. He wasn't eligible.
Oh, he was ineligible.
The players are not eligible are Luka, Embiid, KD, Giannis, Steph, Lillard, Jokic, LeBron. That's the top 8.
That's tough.
Go ahead and say James Harden with the Kyrie Irving fiasco.
Yeah, I don't even think that's going to be a fiasco. We'll get to that in a bit, but
you don't think that's going to be a fiasco?
Yeah, not anymore. There was like an update on it today.
Oh, okay.
$1,000 for Zach LaVine wins you $80,000 if he wins the MVP.
Oh, damn.
Yo, you can make that bet with me if you want.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, forget the bookie.
I'm just saying.
I'm right here, bro.
Who else is there? I mean, he's right there with Karl Anthony Towns is the ultimate fucking dark horse.
Yeah, that'd be some crazy shit. But I'm rooting for Cat.
You put $1,000 on him, you get $90,000. Damn,
bro. Vegas just knows sometimes.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, this might be. I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense that this would be Luka's season. You put $1,000 on him, you get $3,800 back.
I mean, I feel like we say that every year, though. Like, I mean, who knows? Maybe Jason Kidd unlocks his potential. They let go of
if Zion stays healthy and somehow magically gets in shape, I'm saying, and the Pelicans surprise. No, they'd have to be like the 4 or the 3 seed for that to happen.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. Like,
what? Whoa! Zion could literally average like a triple double if he was playing point guard. Well, maybe not a triple double. Did you see me walk it back? Let me walk it back. I'm still walking. Maybe like 30, 10, and maybe like 7. I'd say he could average that.
What about what if Ben Simmons gets traded and he ends up winning MVP?
That would be the greatest thing to ever happen to the NBA.
Oh yeah.
It would just
except if you're a Philly fan.
If it was a Ben Simmons revenge tour where he's averaging like 30, 10, and 10, and he's just
I want to know where he's going. I just really want to know at this point. Like, I want to know who.
Speaking of,
maybe he's going. We could switch up topics a little bit. By the way, did you find that money?
Yeah. So, bro, this is like to us, it's a lot of money, you know, but like to Ben Simmons, like it's not that much money. Like if he misses 40 games, let's say, he'll lose out on $10 million. No,
and then like he misses. He loses his full contract. There's no way. If you're just refusing to go to work or to play, you just.
I mean, dude, it's a long contract. It's a long contract. I don't know if in the NBA
half of his games, so 41 games would be 16 mil.
So I got a question before we switch topics. If you were a 76ers fan, I asked this question on my channel. Would you take maybe not the best package for Ben Simmons right now, but a good package just to get this whole thing over with, or are you just waiting for the best offer possible still? And you risk going into the season and.
Sorry, Mike. I do want to. Okay, maybe it is that money, and the total contract encapsulates training camp and the preseason games, and then the 40 other games, and then playoffs. Maybe. Like I'm not sure how that contract actually works because it doesn't go exactly per game. So my bad. So yeah,
that's all
so
good.
Around 10 mil. That's still 10 mil plus the training camp plus preseason games. I mean, just for showing up. Dude, pull a Vince Carter. I don't want to be here. I'm going to play horrible.
I mean, at that point I would do this. And I don't know, after media day yesterday, things took a pretty interesting twist. I mean, you had Joel Embiid coming out saying that, hey, you know, like people are in trade rumors all the time. You know, it's not that serious. Yeah, we had a bad series. We shouldn't hold these like types of things so personally. I feel like we could win. Doc Rivers came out and refuted his claim saying, hey, I said what I meant to say is I don't know the answer to that question, as in I can't answer that right now. Not, I don't think Ben Simmons could be a championship point guard, but at the same time, like I think we brought it up on the podcast before, like, do you trust Doc Rivers? Like, if Doc Rivers is coming out and like saying, hey man, you know, those things they're saying about me not liking you and thinking you're a championship point guard, you know, you shouldn't buy that. Trust me, man. Like, I want you on this team. You know, like you're talking about the guy that took Blake Griffin in and, you know, pitched him on this great opportunity to be Mr. Clipper and then shipped him off to Detroit. You're talking about a guy that like made his way to DeAndre Jordan's house and like, you know, kept him in there, convinced him not to go to Dallas. And then I don't know how long later, like the Clippers blew it up very shortly after. I don't know if it was that exact year or the year after, but it's really interesting because Ben Simmons came out, and I think this was a crazy thing to say. Like, this is the first time he took a direct shot at Joel Embiid. And he said, apparently, and this is according to The Athletic, and usually The Athletic always gets it right, there's a reason why Ben Simmons turned his teammates away when they wanted to visit him in Los Angeles this past week and make a last-ditch plea for him to rejoin the squad. In his mind, this chapter is closed, and there's simply no dignity in coming back for the sake of filling a familiar spot until the inevitable occurs. Truth be told, Simmons thought he'd be traded by now. And the craziest part is he took a shot at Joel Embiid saying, I'm trying to find the exact quote, but the gist was that playing with Joel Embiid has run its course, and he feels like Joel Embiid, like his presence on a team would be career suicide for him, which is pretty interesting. Do you agree with Ben?
Career suicide, I feel like, is one, a term that will get phased out eventually, but two, Ben, I mean, I think that at this point, I think we all know, first of all, Doc Rivers, I've seen him being referred to a snake oil salesman by the way that he's trying to talk his way out of this, the way that he's always talked his way out of all these things. Doc Rivers, own up. I mean, you're not going to own up to it. We all know you're not going to own up to it because that might be career suicide for yourself as the head coach of the Sixers, but you messed up here. You should not have immediately said, oh yeah, I don't know if Ben Simmons, now you're trying to take it back. Yeah, we know what you're trying to do. Everyone sees right through it. Would it be career suicide for Ben Simmons to play for the Sixers again? I feel like he's already made, I don't know. This is so weird because this is like going to set a precedent for some players in the future. Like this is like a law case. Something's going to happen here because how are you going to just be Ben Simmons, sign a 5-year max contract with the team that you're with, and then 1 year into it, just be like, nah, I'm out. Like if that becomes a thing in the NBA where players just sit out, let's say Zion does the same thing. Let's say Zion signs a huge contract and then goes, nah, I'm out. Just when you know what, I'll just, you could just keep finding me and eventually you can trade me. It's a dangerous precedent for sure. I think that Ben Simmons, though, I think it is an extreme and strange situation where I understand him not wanting to go back there. It's kind of crazy that he just turned away his teammates, but I mean, I get what he's saying. He's saying really. Why prolong the inevitable? So I do. I'm just saying I get did he just refuse to even meet with them? Is he not friends with them?
I mean, nobody really stepped up for him outside of Dwight Howard and maybe Danny Green, if I remember correctly. I know 76ers fans are going to be on my head and be like, oh, well, no, this one, and they'll probably be right. But I'm just speaking from what I know right now. It really didn't feel like anybody had his back when everything hit the fan. So, go ahead.
I just dug up the exact quote about his perception of Embiid, and apparently he's done playing with Embiid. There's nothing personal about this choice. Ben Simmons has clearly decided that his career is better off without Joel Embiid blocking the runways in the paint that he so badly needs to succeed. As he sees it, the organization's choice to build its basketball ecosystem around Embiid's playstyle simply isn't conducive to the way he needs to play.
That's just not true.
How so?
Well, they pretty much chose Al Horford over Jimmy Butler. So, and I think that was in large part because of the way Ben Simmons played and the way Ben Simmons wanted to run the Philadelphia 76er offense. So,
yeah, I mean, you would think that you would think that a point guard, I mean, let's say people have classified Ben Simmons in the LeBron, Luka, the point forward type role where they're running point just because he's gigantic and plays point guard. You would think that having a center that you would be able to run some pick and roll action with would be ideal. The problem is that he can't shoot. So when you go to run a pick and roll, every defender in the vicinity just steps backwards and just you can't roll into 3 guys. So I don't really blame Joel Embiid for what's he supposed to possibly do there. You can't run pick and rolls with Ben Simmons effectively because he can't shoot from anywhere on the court other than right at the rim.
In addition to this, you're playing with, in my opinion, the best center in the NBA. There has never been a center like Joel Embiid in the history of the NBA where you could run pick and rolls with. And not only is he extremely adept at finishing inside, but this is a guy that is a 38% 3-point shooter last year. This is that's like a point guard's heaven. You're surrounded with shooters all around you, and you're telling me that, hey, Joel Embiid isn't conducive to my playing style. I'd rather go play with Jalen Green and Christian Wood and Kevin Porter Jr. in Houston, or I'd rather go. It would hit. Yeah, I think that's probably his best case scenario, but they're not going to contend.
That would be a sick team. That'd be fun to watch.
It would be fun to watch.
There's been some good league pass teams this year.
I mean, if that works out, fine. Do you think going to the Minnesota Timberwolves would be a better situation for Ben Simmons than the Philadelphia 76ers? Do you think going to the Cavaliers would be a better situation? I think probably the Rockets and the Timberwolves are 1 and 2, but you're going to rebuilding teams as opposed to being like one of on the contending teams on the East.
Well, Timberwolves wouldn't be rebuilding. Let's say theoretically Timberwolves offer a deal or whatever. They're going for the playoffs. They're not rebuilding at that point. They're definitely trying to make the playoffs and then building off that. I would say that in terms of those teams that you mentioned, like so with a team like the Timberwolves, it's very interesting actually, because so I think Ben Simmons' biggest strength, like the best way to unlock him would be to have a separate primary ball handler that creates offense, that the end of games is able to create offense. And Ben just does this thing, is, a great two-way player, kills it in transition. I think you run him at like the power forward. You could even try, starting to work in some pick and roll action with him. We've seen it work out in the past. He's actually played pretty well out of the pick and roll at times as the roll man. Problem when it comes to a young team with like such as Houston is that Ben has to respect the guards enough to have them have the ball in their hands all the time. Like if you're playing with Damian Lillard, then that's Dame's team. Ben's coming into Portland. I'm assuming that has a higher chance of working out because Ben's ego won't get in the way than if you go to the Rockets. There might be some toes that get stepped on. Like, sure, that would be fun. But like, if you think about it, like, these are young guys that are unproven, that haven't done anything, while Ben Simmons is like, okay, I've been in, people could say Ben Simmons hasn't done anything, but he has been to the playoffs. He's been an NBA All-Star. He has been All-NBA. He's done plenty. So when it comes to young guys, Ben really is going to have to trust whoever is going to be the other lead ball handler in whatever offense he goes to.
I think if you're the Philadelphia 76ers currently, and I think this has been my stance for quite some time right now, and if you're, guys, let us know in the comment section down below if you're watching on YouTube. I don't think Spotify or Apple has a comment section, but I think your best option here is trading Ben Simmons to the Minnesota Timberwolves for LiAngelo Russell and some other pieces. Like, that is a move that will make you better offensively. I guess offense will flow a little bit better. You get a slight downgrade in playmaking. You get an upgrade in shooting. You get a huge downgrade in defense. But it is what it is. At this point, that's like the only thing. I guess trading him for John Wall is okay. I'm not a huge fan of it, mainly because they were really close to trading him to the Rockets last year for James Harden. And I feel like the fact that, I'm sure you guys heard the reports of the Rockets not trading James Harden back to Daryl Morey. And, there's some turmoil from Daryl Morey being the general manager of the Rockets before. I don't see the Sixers trading Ben Simmons to the Rockets as a result of that, if that story is actually true. So I think he's going to be a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves within the next 2 months, in my opinion.
So one thought on that is that I have no basis really on this, but I did see, I've been digging into the Reddits of, Timberwolves, Blazers, like some of these teams. Whenever trade rumors pop in, I go on the Reddits of these teams to see what their own fans are saying. And I saw Timberwolves fans talking about how there hasn't really been just a D'Lo for Ben discussion, how it's more like they want a D'Lo and Beasley and picks and all of this stuff. So perfectly, viable, could definitely happen. I would be very interested to see how it happens because, again, I think that, the other primary ball handler would then be Anthony Edwards. And I wonder how that trio would work out. It would be interesting for me. What do you guys think? Do you think so 2 things. What trade would you rather see? And what team do you think would be better off going forward? Would you rather see a trade D'Lo for Ben or someone like CJ McCollum for Ben?
I personally like Ben Simmons on the Kings a lot. I like De'Aaron Fox for Ben Simmons.
You think? Yeah, but I don't think they'd ever trade. I don't think they'd ever accept that.
Well, they traded DeMarcus Cousins for Buddy Hield. So, it's just the NBA. You never know at the end of the day. I'm not
but
sure.
Cuz was but DeMarcus
That was a crazy trade.
No, I agree. I mean,
Buddy Hield was
management.
terrible in New Orleans. That was old management, but still the point kind of remains. You never really know with these things. But you're right. I don't think it would go down. But that being said, I love the fit because Devion Mitchell is instantly going to, from the moment he steps foot on the court, he's going to be one of the best defensive point guards in the league. We know Halliburton's a lockdown defender, and then you got Ben Simmons, who is another guy that just can play defense at the highest level. But not only can he defend, he's able to defend multiple positions. And the Sacramento Kings, I think, were the worst defense in the league last season. So it's just a trade that obviously I'd love a lot more for the 76ers because Fox is Fox. But, there'd be a lot of upside there.
That would be the Sixers would crush it, I think. I think that's more, personally, I think that's more of like a trade offer if we go back like to the start of the summer. And now after seeing no one accept any of these trades, I think maybe Halliburton might be more realistic with the Kings. Why are the Kings so connected to Ben? Have they like expressed huge interest, or just people just trying to fill in dots here?
It's just a consistent, like, recurring thing where Ben Simmons wants to go to a California team. He said he wants to go to any 3 California teams. The assumption was the Warriors, Clippers, or Lakers, but 2 of those teams, both Los Angeles teams, can't swing a trade because they don't have assets or cap space, and the Warriors aren't interested in him because of fit. So that just pretty much leaves the Kings. And the Kings are in a situation where they're just trying to get any star.
All right, so transitioning away from Ben in a smooth transition here, guys. So we have seen Kyrie Irving lately in the news refusing to get the vaccine as of now. Apparently 7 hours ago, there's reports that Kevin Durant, like, people think that he's going to be able to, convince Kyrie and everything. But amidst the drama of that, people have, jokingly said, oh, what if the Sixers traded Ben for Kyrie, which in a bubble of 2K, that would work out. I feel like that would be very interesting. But so what are your thoughts on Kyrie Irving as of right now, potentially missing half the season? And because if for everyone who doesn't know at home, guys such as Kyrie, anyone who is on the Nets, the Knicks, the Warriors, correct me if there's any other cities. So Andrew Wiggins is included in this. Their city mandates are that if you are not vaccinated, you cannot go into an enclosed area such as the arena. So Kyrie Irving literally would not be allowed to go into the Barclays Center. So he would not be allowed to play because he currently is not vaccinated. Same with Andrew Wiggins. Same with guys like Bradley Beal. But Bradley Beal, that law, they don't have that mandate where he plays, in Washington. So he would not be able to go into the Barclays Center, I'm pretty sure. But he would be fine for his own home game. So Kyrie would be missing currently more than half the season, because he would be missing the New York Knicks games as well, potentially also the Golden State Warrior game. And this would be, I think, something that would be insane, because you would not only miss half your games, but this would be lingering over his head, all of his teammates' heads all season. And then what happens come playoff time when half of your games, like you're going to tell me Kyrie's going to miss half the playoff games as well? I don't know. What do you guys think?
So just a little bit of a background on me. Before I pursued YouTube full-time, I was pursuing a master's in biomedical sciences. I'm really tapped into biology, took a lot of organic chemistry, general chemistry, and biochemistry courses. So I have the advantage of just understanding how vaccinations work. And I took the vaccine personally. I'm not the type of person that's like, hey, I took the vaccine, therefore you should take the vaccine or else we're all screwed. But I do think it's kind of silly not to take it, in the sense that you can make your life a little bit easier. No one, they're not injecting satellites in you. You're not going to wake up in a year from now and get some reaction. That's not how RNA works. In Kyrie Irving's situation, first of all, I think this is very on brand with him, in the sense that, like,
on brand.
So on brand. That's why this is such an interesting situation. You're talking about a guy that, like, loves giving his difference in philosophical opinion on random stuff, when I don't think, like, I don't mean to be disrespectful towards him, but I just don't think this is necessarily his lane. Like saying the world is flat, for example, I'm sure that was like a trolling attempt. If it's getting to a point where I guess it's really like he's about to get tested, because in the past year, Kyrie has had this like little thing, like his whole stance, which was really funny, was I don't really care about basketball. There's more important things in life than basketball. And oh, by the way, I'm on the most competitive team on the East, and I'm having a 50, 40, 90 season, but I don't really care about this that much. So now that's about to get tested. Is he going to take the vaccine? Is he not going to take the vaccine? If he really wants to win a championship, then he'll take it. If he really holds his beliefs as true as he does, then he won't take it. Personally, knowing what I know about just basic biology, just freaking take the vaccine, man. You're going to be okay. You know, like, this is something that could save lives potentially. I don't really think he's at the age where he needs to take it or else his life is at risk. I think you have to be a little bit older for that to happen. But another note that I just wanted to make here is LiAngelo Russell tweeted out that Kyrie is goated. I don't know if you saw that, but bro, no one in the NBA was more affected by by COVID-19 than your teammate Karl Anthony Towns. Like,
I don't know what that was. Horrible.
Weird timing. I'll say that. Very weird timing, and
very strange.
That's not his first time. Not his first time. Remember the LaMelo Ball injury?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, not his first time.
Yeah, and you know what? That's like one of those situations where, like, you can't, like, I hope he doesn't, like, hide behind the keyboard with that. With Kyrie's goated, like, okay, we obviously know what you mean. It's like when Eric Bledsoe was like, I want to get out of here or whatever, get me out of here. And then he, like, pretended like he was waiting in line with his girlfriend or something somewhere, whatever story he concocted for that. I personally have to say with all of this that I'm on the clear pro vaccination side, and I'm on the clear, you know, I want to know what other NBA players are thinking, because I think this could easily be viewed as a selfish act, knocking the vaccine. You're traveling all season long. All science indicates, yes, take the vaccine. It will help you. I love the people that go like, oh, you could still get COVID. Yes, there are very small odds that you could still get COVID. Okay, you have much higher odds if you don't take it, and there are much higher odds that you give it to someone else. You could give it to people. You don't know everyone's family situation. You don't know what people have, children or kids or elderly people living in their homes or in their lives that have certain medical conditions. So Kyrie's and everyone else, Bradley Beal, all of them, put those guys at risk personally. And I have two things. One, I just wanted to point out the fact that Bradley Beal saying that he was sick with COVID and he got nothing, and then points out that he literally couldn't smell. He lost a sense. And he's like, yeah, but it was nothing. Like, that's just crazy to me that he just actually viewed that as nothing. But like, your 1/5 of your senses went away and you just were cool. Okay, whatever. But two, so a lot of this keeps coming down to, oh, my personal belief, which is fine. You know, I'm not going to be like, what's your religion? What's this to an NBA player ever? You know, go ahead, do your own thing. Kyrie, if you want to believe the earth is flat, I still don't think that's great for the youth of America, for if one of them believes you in general, but, you know, whatever. I'd rather you do that. I don't like that these guys are getting asked about this and they're being like, oh, this is my personal belief. Like, okay, sure. But now this is your personal belief that is affecting your entire team. It's affecting all the staff around you. It's affecting everyone around you. It's affecting. in terms of potentially getting COVID, and you're missing potentially half the games. It's a giant financial decision for your team. This is going to linger over the heads of all of your teammates. This is going to affect your franchise's bottom line, how much money you make, how much jerseys get sold. There is so much that goes into play here. You can't just hide behind like, this is my belief. Okay, well, if it's your belief and you have that, that is your reasoning, then what is your belief? Because that is the question that keeps getting asked. People go, okay, well then what is your belief? Why are you not doing this? And then immediately, suddenly it's, no, that's personal. Don't dare ask me about that. Huh? How can we not ask you about that? How can the media not ask you about potentially missing half the season? Like, that is a basketball related question. Andrew Wiggins was exactly asked about that. Said, oh, I have to hold strong with my beliefs. Tried to get a religious immunity or whatever religious like thing to say that he doesn't need to get the vaccine. Like, that's so extreme. But then when someone asks him, what is your beliefs? Why are you doing this? He just goes, I don't have to answer to you. It's like, okay, well, I mean, you're missing half your team season and costing your team wins, money, everything, and putting your teammates at risk. I think that you should have to answer that. But I mean, you can't make someone talk. So
yeah, Coop, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so y'all think Kyrie is like, you think this whole thing, you think he's gonna end up taking it, or you think they're gonna maybe
I would bet so much money he takes it.
He has to take, like,
no, I think so much when he takes it. This is Kyrie. You were talking about on brand for Kyrie. Sorry for honestly talking over here, but I'm just saying, on brand for Kyrie is causing a stir like this and then taking the thing.
It's just funny to me that, like, like, I understand. I think the top two arguments that I'm hearing against this thing is, one, what if the government's injecting satellites in us, which is hilarious. Which, by the way, like, that's what your phone is. Like, that people could track you through your phone. And two, like, we don't know what's in it. But bro, like, with all due respect, like, you don't know, most of the time when you're eating food, sometimes you don't know what's in your food. When you're drinking something or you're buying something like from the market, you don't know what's in that. Well, there's like a bunch of stuff that you do, like, that you don't know what's in it, and you just trust the experts in the field to just make sure they put you in the best situation to make your life easier. That's kind of like what society was built upon. So I really wish I had some more empathy here for the other side, because typically I do take pride in myself for playing the devil's advocate in this situation. But in my head, I can't understand a reason to not take it. And especially if there's a championship on the line for Kyrie Irving, there's a championship on the line for Andrew Wiggins too, man. This is probably the most confident I've been in a Golden State Warriors team. The jury's out on Bradley Beal, but like, this is something that could potentially...
This is the most confident you've been in the Golden State Warriors team?
Since Kevin Durant left.
I'm with you. You know what? I was never gonna say this, but I was thinking this in the car the other day. I was very excited to see what Andrew Wiggins did this year. I mean, he took what I could only say was a leap as a player for sure last season. If you look at his stats, he improved. He became a winning player. He was, solid on the defensive end, tapping into, maybe not number one pick territory, of course, but tapping more into that potential, tapping more into, you can be a real guy on a potential championship level team. And so it's so disappointing that he's one of these guys that's coming out here. And, again, I will just state this, fully. Like, I respect anyone's religious beliefs on, things that, like, private matters like that, 100%. However, when you see what COVID has done to, communities, families, our world, shut us down for all this time, like, I just will not be afraid to say I'm fully pro-vaccine. Think they should all get the vaccine. Over 90% of the NBA has also gotten the vaccine at this point. I'm interested to see who the other guys that don't get it are, because I'm sure there will be a solid handful that don't end up getting it and that end up, just missing these games, because, no one's going to make as big of a deal if a 12th, 11th man on a team doesn't get it. But I I would just say it's selfish. And also, Devin Booker is not getting mentioned in any of this. He like pulled the whole, oh yeah, but you could still get COVID card randomly. Like, why? Yes, we all know this, but if you just do the quickest Google search on percent chance of getting COVID with the vaccine, you will see how dramatically low the odds are.
So it's funny that you mentioned this because both of my parents got COVID over the past 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Has it been 2 weeks? It's been 2 weeks. And it's crazy because I'm still living in the house with them. And they both got vaccinated, by the way. They got Pfizer. I got Moderna. I don't know if that's the reason to do with it. I'm unscathed, which blows my mind. But my dad, if he didn't get it, I'm confident he would have been on a ventilator because he was coughing like crazy. My mom lost her ability to taste and whatnot, and that's with the vaccine. So I could only imagine how much worse it would be if they weren't introduced to some sort of mRNA version of the pathogen to ensure that their body at least had an idea of how it works. Thankfully, we're a very scientific family. So there is a baseline understanding. But just to close off on this, because I feel like we're getting a little bit too much away from basketball, is if you're drinking alcohol, then you have that's way worse for you than any type of vaccine. So get the damn vaccine if you're an NBA player, please, so we can watch you crush it this year.
Since I hardly talked during this, I'm just gonna say I agree with what you guys said, and I disagree with what Korzimba said. While I also agree that Andrew Wiggins took a step forward, I was not excited to see what he did this season.
All right, so you're disagreeing. So you're agreeing with the COVID stuff, but with
the
on-court stuff,
and the fact that he took a step forward. But I was not excited to see Andrew Wiggins.
You don't think he took any step forward?
I said I agree that he did. He definitely did, but I was not excited.
All right, well, okay, yeah. I guess in terms of things that I was excited for this season, that wouldn't rank top 50.
That's last. That's not even.
But I just meant when I thought of the idea, I was like, oh, I wonder if Andrew Wiggins. I guess I really was excited for it, but it was
it was crazy.
I was wondering. It made me think I was just thinking of Andrew Wiggins. I was like, oh, I wonder if he could take another step forward with the younger guys as they keep unless they make a trade.
Yeah. Maybe he is used as a trade piece if Kuminga or Moody start to surprise. Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, but did he just tank his value?
Might have tanked it a little.
Might have tanked it because I would say apparently
Curry sounded so disappointed. We didn't even talk about that. Curry's quote on the situation was pretty disappointing.
I can pull it up.
He was disappointed, not that his quote was disappointing.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's up to him. It's no secret to that point. We obviously hope that he has all of the right information, the access to the right resources to ask the questions he has on making that decision. Oh, God. We hope he's available. We hope he moves in the right direction.
Andrew, man, you could win a championship this year. Straight up, Clay is coming back in January. Wiseman's going to be back at some point. I don't know when exactly. I think they said January as well. You got 2 really good lottery picks. Don't mess it up, man. You're a very important part of the team. And I would be a little bit more respectful of your views, but it completely scientifically just doesn't sound rational to me at all whatsoever.
Is he possibly a DNR? A guy that doesn't a do not resuscitate, guy that doesn't believe in taking medicine.
Oh man.
You see, is he one of? That's what I'm wondering if that's his actual belief, that he is if I get sick, I don't take medicine, I'm in God's hands.
I wanted to I love, first of all, how we're not even bringing up Bradley Beal. It's okay, Bradley Beal, you don't have to play. It's all good. We understand.
Well, because Bradley Beal is actually not affecting. I mean, I still think the same thing towards Bradley Beal. In terms of selfishness, in terms of you could get you could transfer it to someone else, you could get someone sick, all of that. But the thing is, in terms of Andrew Wiggins and Kyrie, they're straight up just right there saying, I'm going to miss half my games. Bradley Beal, that's not the case. If Bradley Beal, if that was the case, it'd be the same thing. He'd be just under the same amount of fire. And Bradley Beal had COVID and had to miss Team USA because of it. And also, the crazy thing about Bradley Beal is that this isn't a whole, his mom and dad have the vaccine. Like, he said multiple people close to me have the vaccine. My mom and dad have it. Like, okay, just get it, man.
I wanted to close the pod with, have you guys been following along with the Nick Briz drama, the Savage Squad drama?
I know Nick Briz, and I haven't. No, you know what, guys? Fill me in. Like, I know Nick Briz. I know up until him and Friga had that whole thing. I think Cash recently said something. I don't know. Let me know. Pretend I'm a viewer at home that doesn't know anything.
So I think Mike should preface everything by saying there's a lot of he said, she said. And
thank you.
We should also explain who he is. We shouldn't just assume.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So Nick Briz is a very, very popular IRL NBA YouTuber. And like
basketball
his videos,
basketball, yeah.
I mean,
like, plays basketball. YouTuber, not
plays basketball.
Yeah.
Plays basketball. Plays basketball. He's not in the league. He plays basketball. Sorry, guys, the sleep deprivation.
Do you think he could? No, I'm joking. Just continue.
But like his videos are very, I'd say in terms of like production value and in terms of what goes down in the videos, it's very like, you know, these people wanted to fight, very overly dramatized. Like, it's very intense basketball games that turn very hostile, and you know, there's fighting involved and whatnot in his entire, not like actual fighting,
no,
but
you're
like,
right. I want to back up your statement because I have his channel pulled up with his titles right here. Trash talkers were throwing hands. TikTokers wanted to fight. We got in a fight with Cash Nasty and Friga. Trash talkers jumped me. Trash talkers wanted to fight me. Pure chaos at the park, which shows like a literal brawl going on. Twipe was talking shit, then got exposed bad. Miami trash talkers wanted to fight, exposed bad. Venice Beach shit talkers get exposed bad. They were talking shit, wanted to fight. Trash talkers were ready to fight. Trash talkers wanted to fight. Trash talker punched my boy in the face. Every title.
Yeah, so like and wow, I thought he had way more videos, but he has like about 650k subs, and there's two parts to the drama, and fill in the blanks if I'm missing anything, guys. The first part is well, I think the very core of this is he is showing apparently a reluctance to pay his go-to guy, Chris, that like, you know, he's like the most wild in his videos. Like, he's getting in people's faces, like he's instigating, he brings a lot of entertainment value, and his side of the situation.
Sorry.
You hate it.
But
I mean,
these guys suck, man. All right, before
what?
I'm sorry.
Chris sucks?
Whoa.
Chris
I'm
sucks
not
at
saying
what?
they suck at basketball. They're fucking assholes. They're the biggest assholes I've ever seen.
Look, Chris. I don't know if Chris necessarily instigates. I've watched a lot of Nick Briz content. I think he shuts
Is this
it down.
the tall guy?
But I could be wrong.
Wait, is this the tall guy?
That's the tall guy. Yeah, it's the tall guy.
I've seen him be a straight up scumbag at times. So that's all I have to say. Like, all I know is, if I was playing basketball with these guys, I just wouldn't play with them. I would never associate with them. I hate them.
I told you that the culture's like that at LA Fitness now. If you go to like any gym, I don't know when the last time you hooped is, but everybody's like on some savage stuff. And like, I understand doing it for like content, but like when I'm just at the gym, just trying to get a game in, and I feel like I gotta respond to you because you're talking mess every single play when we're both going home and to do whatever we do and not go to the league, like it's dumb. It's dumb.
Just because something else is wrong doesn't make that Nick Briz is correct. But two, Devontae Friga.
Wait, what do you mean by that? What do you mean?
I mean,
by
just
that?
because people are yelling at you in LA Fitness doesn't mean that this guy should be able to go around.
Oh, I never said that. How did you draw that correlation? I never
because
said
you
that.
just you said that that's what everyone does now.
No, but that was me complaining. That wasn't me co-signing.
Okay.
That was a complaint.
I'm saying like when you compare these videos to Friga's videos, it's just like it's basically the switch up between like just clickbait, fighting, obnoxious, horrible people to like chill Friga, having like, a good time, way more wholesome, I would say. But like, dude, yeah.
Shout out to Friga, by the way, dude.
I honestly, that like was just on my chest. Nick Briz, I love to also see him get chirped the other day on Twitter or whatever. Someone was talking shit to him and was like, all right, fight me right now. He didn't do anything. So
for me, I mean, it's weird because I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, like, if this is what people are watching and what people want to see, like, Like it's like, you know, like
I don't think it's sustainable. I think this
it
is like
he's been doing it for a while, and the views have been there.
It's been like 6 months where he's like really been. I think though
he's
that
getting like a million of videos.
No, I agree, but like we'll see though, because you know what? There comes a turn, and right now, looking at this, if you look at his likes, like months ago, boom, like 97%, 97%. Now you look 75%. You like three videos ago, 74%. Yeah. I'm just saying the same thing happened with like Jake Paul. Look, in terms of his channel and his content. People,
I don't like the content style, but I understand why he does it.
I'm sorry to cut you guys both off, but if you're a viewer watching the podcast that doesn't know who Nick Briz is, you're probably confused as hell at this point. So can we give like a little bit of a background in terms of who he is, what the drama in regards to his content is before we give our takes on it?
Think of a guy who immediately before a basketball game goes into the bathroom, takes out a large bag of white unknown powder, does it all, and then gets a text and his girlfriend broke up with him, and he then plays a basketball game.
Okay.
So like
do your thing.
Bro, that's staying in. I love that.
Guy that he's playing, and the guy that he's guarding is the guy that is the reason why his girlfriend broke up with him. He's now with his girlfriend.
So like being honest, and being 100% like impartial. Nick Briz is so there's two parts to his drama. Coming out. One is the fact that he's reluctant to pay his crew, and this is despite him pulling in so many views. The guy's making like thousands of dollars easily. What is he pulling? Like 5 million views a month? About maybe.
Yeah, good for him for the views. I never want to. I'm hating on the views. Whatever. Good for him for that. It's just like even if it was these titles and this kind of stuff, it's just the way that they carry themselves and the way that they talk and the way that they're just so crazy aggressive to everyone. The way
I see it is if you're mad at him, and, you know, the way he makes his content, then in a way you also have to be mad at the viewer. So as long as there's an audience for it, I understand why he's going to continue to do the same type of content.
So the other part of the drama is the fact that Chris exposed that it's fake and it's scripted. Like, it's not real. It's like pseudo scripted. So like the reason why Cash Nasty got involved, from my understanding, is apparently one of the members of Nick Briz's crew told Cash Nasty that he got there was incentive for one of the crew members to rough up Cash, and there was even an incentive for him to swing at Cash, but he didn't swing at Cash. So that's how far it goes. And so the drama is the fact that he's not paying these dudes, which he's trying to he's doing some really messed up stuff. Like he buys them Spirit Airlines flights to specific to LA so they could shoot collabs. There's an instance of him deleting.
Why did you say he buys them Spirit Airlines? Why did you say? Seriously?
No, I'm not done.
I just recently flew Spirit. What's wrong with Spirit? I'm
not done.
You said he
Spirit is notoriously the worst airline.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Go.
Look, Coop, bro. Next time you want to fly Spirit, send me your ticket. I'll upgrade you for free, bro. You deserve better than that, man.
He's lying. I'm gonna know. I would clip this,
bro. What are you doing? You got an Amex Platinum card, and you're out here flying Spirit. Like, what the hell are you doing, bro?
You gotta stay frugal, no matter what.
I agree. I'm never gonna knock someone. You're right. I'm never gonna.
Spirit gets you to the same place. Like you end up at the same location. Like
if you're
Spirit do me right. Like
no. If you're honestly, props to you for having a what is the best way to say it? A better discomfort tolerance than I do.
That's a funny way to put it.
What makes you uncomfortable about flying Spirit?
It's impossible for me to fall asleep when I see 3 people throwing hands behind me, bro. I'm sorry.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
No, but all right, look, I digress. Nick Briz actually went in and apparently deleted Chris's 1v footage with him collabing with Cash Nasty. he's just very like overly frugal with his money. He's not hooking up his crewmates. He's trying to replace his crewmates. It seems like Nick Briz just comes off as this guy that's like, okay, well, hurt the dur. I know people like seeing violence. What happens if you get Jerry Springer and throw it into basketball? You get Nick Briz. And look, to be honest, I don't have a problem with it being scripted or fake, because like Coop said, if that's what people want to watch, and that's your lane, then okay, that's your lane. I personally wouldn't like to do it. It's too toxic for my taste, but that's your lane. I respect it. What bothers me is whenever someone doesn't treat someone that is working for them properly. And I take huge pride in this. I make sure I go out of my way to make sure everyone that works with me or works for me mentally is straight. They're happy, they're taken care of. I'll give advances on payments, I'll give bonuses, I'll give vacations that are paid, like anything that you need to make sure that working for me puts a smile on your face is kind of like my brand's philosophy. My issue with the Nick Briz situation, as someone that doesn't really consume his content on a regular basis, because I'm not really into that type of content, isn't so much that it's scripted or fake, because look, if you need a script or fake your content, there was a fake pranking phase. I get it. Do what you got to do to secure the bag, but
damn, you're right. Actually, he really is like Vitali, but just a basketball YouTuber.
Yeah. And if that's what I'm not going to hate on you for the type of content.
No, we can hate on that. They got hated off the site. So I'll hate on it. That's horrible. Wait, you're not going to hate on them scripting? So that's also lying. So not only were you an obnoxious douchebag, but you're also lying about it and making up a script where you come off as an aggressive, hyper, crazy asshole. Yeah, I'll hate you even more.
Well, dude, the Real World was scripted. The Jersey Shore was scripted. Some of
we know that's scripted television.
I don't mean to hate on the people that consume the content, because I sometimes consume like reality TV myself, but like low IQ, dumb content like that typically is scripted, and that's just what he's appealing to. I watch it sometimes. It's not the most intelligent content.
Dude, but come on. You're going to tell me that if you're just scrolling through YouTube right now and you see a 5v5 basketball game being played, you should not have the expectation that is just real? We're going to just suddenly start giving him a card where it's like, oh, well, the Real World, a reality television show, is scripted at times, but a 5v5 basketball game at a park, we're gonna just start allowing that scripted. Yeah, screw that.
Yeah, low key, like when we start doing our IRL content, that's gonna be sick. Like we could do like some thumbnails of like Coop swinging at me. It's really funny.
We gotta get a thumbnail of you bench pressing Korzimba after a fight.
It's really funny because
after he threw a new guy, we find a window at the park. We throw a guy through it.
It's really funny because, I faced Flight in a 1v1, but shortly after I faced Flight in a 1v1, I faced another person in a 1v1. And I was watching his, 1v1 before our one, my 1v1 versus him. I'm not going to name drop him because, he's a good friend of a friend. But it was really funny. We were 1v1ing, and he, looked at me, and he's like, yo, do you want to fall? And I'm like, so this is what this industry is like. So it's kind of frequent in, at least from my brief interpretation and brief exposure, that people fall, people fake the crazy parts of the games. And that's just the way that lane might work. I don't know much about it, but it's if that's the way the lane is, then that's the way the lane is. And he just took it to another extreme. I think the messed up part, once again, is just not taking care of the people that made you who you are. I don't
think that's the way the lane. I agree with you with that, but I don't think that's the way the lane is. He's creating a lane. I feel like yeah, maybe you got told to fall. They're scripting fights and violence and all of this stuff, and that's also being marketed to kid. We're talking about marketing to kids. That's a whole okay, yeah, look at these 5v5. Oh, this guy's getting 2 million views. Getting in a showcasing fist fights at parks. Not cool.
Yeah, I understand.
And again, I think he's creating a lane. I think we should stop this lane.
I mean, unfortunately,
there have been more people
right,
coming out, making videos like this.
I don't think it's sustainable though, because I feel like at a specific point, YouTube's going to demonetize it. Like anything that glorifies fighting, there's no way YouTube is going to
YouTube might definitely demonetize.
Like if I'm him, I'll drop nickbriz.com, nickbriz merch, buy a bunch of Bitcoin. Like, I don't see this as being a sustainable lane at all whatsoever. Like,
well, he'll still be with Ball His Life probably, but
yeah. I don't know. As a result, has he dropped a video ever since he dropped an apology? People hated the apology apparently, but I think
people never like apologies.
Yeah, once you drop an apology video, you mess up.
But you gotta drop it. Like, people never like apologies, but you still gotta apologize.
The number one comment on apology videos is, your apology wasn't sincere enough. Like, yeah, man. Any closing thoughts?
All right. Well, my final words, even though he'll never hear this, so fuck you, Nick Briz. I don't like you at all.
Bro, we took like a brief little like break, like I think we got like one pod in the past like month, and I don't know what happened to Korzemba since then, man. He like came back as like, this has to be like Korzemba's evil twin. Like, come back,
screw
savage.
That guy.
Screw anti-vaxxers. Screw Nick Briz. Fuck you, you're ruining the industry.
Fuck the Pelicans.
Being selfish, and Nick Briz is a scumbag. That guy's
what the fuck did the Pelicans do?
I can't. Scumbag.
Yo, oh my god, man. I like the new. I'm here for Savage Korzemba, man.
Like, I don't care at all. I mean, that guy will never hear this, but I mean, like, if he did, I would welcome it. I would love it, but then he wouldn't respond. But if he did, again, would love it. I saw him and Duke Dennis had some freaking a quarrel, some random shit. And Nick Briz, you can look it up. Nick Briz, Duke Dennis. So you know what? If anyone is like, oh yeah, why is Korzemba being so crazy about